And that's when I started to freak out because I felt something in my eyeball. I was like, Gabrielle, don't cry. You can't cry. And I was like, Luke, what am I gonna do? Like, I really do need help. My eye is swollen. Like, am I gonna need surgery? Are they gonna have to take out my eyeball? Am I going to become blind? Hello everybody, what is up? My name is Gabrielle Moses and welcome back to my channel. I have a fun story to tell you guys and it happened the other night. And I put an Instagram story up on my Instagram saying, oh my god, I was almost rushed to the hospital and it's midnight. And I forgot to explain everything, and so I'm just making an explanation on here because everyone was like, please do a story time. What the heck happened? Why are you okay? Because I was dying laughing about this entire story because I just can't believe this happened. It's never a dull moment with me. That's all I have to say. But before we get started, if you're new here, hello, it is so nice to meet you. If you're old here, what's up, my homies, my Gab gang? What is up? Hope you're doing well. Everyone gets a virtual hug though. But yes, it's time to dive into the story time. And if you guys see my cheeks starting to get rosy during this, it's because I didn't really put on much makeup. Anytime I start thinking or either running, I don't know what it is, my cheeks get insanely rosy. I have rosacea. So yeah, you might see that. Let's just jump right into it. So this happened, guys, the other night whenever I was just getting done doing homework. I was doing homework for like 3 hours and I was tired. It was one of those nights where I was just so freaking ready to go to bed and I was just like, okay, I wish I could just jump in bed and levitate there, you know? But no, I had to get ready for bed first. So I walked into the bathroom and I was just doing my do-to-do little thing. Gab's thinking probably singing in her head. I go to brush my teeth. I do that. That goes perfectly fine. And then I go to take out my contacts. The left one goes out fine. It's same old, nothing special. But then I go to take out the right one. I put my fingers in my eye, like you usually do whenever you're taking out contacts. And my contact wasn't there. But I knew that I had not taken it out yet. So I was really confused. And I was kind of thinking to myself, what the heck? That thing did not just levitate out of my eye. I know it's somewhere. So I start looking and it was literally nowhere to be found. So then I couldn't find my contact literally anywhere. And that's when I started to freak out because I felt something in my eyeball. When I say it felt like there was either a giant piece of hair in my eyeball, it did not feel like just an eyelash was in my eye. It felt like there's a long piece of my own hair stuck in my eye. Kind of like a staple, like the pain of a staple, but I knew a staple wasn't in my eye. That's whenever I start literally digging around my eyeball because I know my contact is now inside of my eyelid. And so then I literally start looking everywhere inside my eyeball, even though, there's not that much space in your eye. And when I say the pain was starting to increase as I was freaking out, it started to increase because I don't see a contact anywhere, but I could feel it somewhere. Something was in my eye and I could feel it moving. Yeah, so that's when I start freaking out. I then get my flashlight from my phone and I lift up my eyelid and then I flash it in there. And that's when I see my contact lens in the back of my eyeball, way back there. And then at that very same moment, I notice that every single time I blink, it goes further and further back. Guys, and let me tell you, as I see this contact moving further and further back, it literally gets to the point where it's just gone. I don't know where that thing went. And that's when I start panicking. When I say panicking, I'm standing there. I'm like, Gabrielle, don't cry. You can't cry. If you cry, who knows what's gonna happen to this contact lens? Is it gonna be in the back of your eyeball? I start thinking of the worst situations possible. Am I gonna need surgery? Are they gonna have to take out my eyeball? Am I going to become blind? I was just thinking of these terrible things. And then that's when I decide to start calling my mother. I start calling my mother. She does not answer. At this point, I call her 3 times. No answer any of the time. It is midnight, so then I'm like, oh yeah, she's probably asleep. She has to get up at 6 in the morning, normal things. So then I call my dad. His phone is also off, which is extremely weird because they always have their cell phones on no matter what, and it's always right next to their bed, just in case of an emergency like this. And of course, this is the one time my parents don't have their phones on. So I call my twin sister because she's home in town. And this is literally what happens. I call her and she goes, Gabrielle, why the heck are you waking me up? And I could tell she was asleep. And here's a little backstory. My twin sister has a tendency to lucid dream or to have sleep paralysis. She hallucinates whenever she gets woken up in the middle of the night. So she's saying all these things to me that don't make any sense. She's like, why are you waking me up? It's obviously not an emergency. I'm like, no, my contact is stuck in the back back of my eye. This is an emergency. I'm starting to not be able to see, like, because I'm freaking out. And she's like, no, you're fine. She hangs up on me. And then I get this text message from her that says, I have a 4-hour test and I have to be up at 5:45. So unless it's an emergency, please don't call me. That's the only reason why I leave my ringer on. Also, would I be helpful? I've never touched a contact. And then I respond to her saying, please wake up mom and dad. I'm freaking out, please. And I just never heard back from her. So I'm freaking out. I'm calling out my roommates. None of them are answering. I wanted to go to their bedroom doors and like pound on them, but the problem was only one of them was here out of my 3 roommates, and I just felt really bad for waking her up. So then I start texting my other friends, freaking out even more, and they're like Googling everything for me. Some of them are on FaceTime with me trying to talk me through everything, and here I am, I'm still freaking the freak out. So then I'm freaking out, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'm just gonna have to wake up my roommate, because at this point in time, now my eye is like all swollen, because my eyes swell really easily. I don't know what is up with it. It just happens. My eye is swollen and I could still feel the contact. Like literally when I say it felt like the contact was on the back of my eyeball, but like not on the back, like inside. I can't describe it. So it just feels like it's up there and I'm freaking out. So then I FaceTimed Luke and I was freaking out to him. And I was like, Luke, what am I gonna do? Like, I really do need help. And he goes, I'm sorry, I've never dealt with contacts, so I wouldn't quite sure know what to do. I have tweezers if you need them. He said, do you need tweezers? And that's when I start freaking out even more, because then I realize no one knows how to help me. I'm standing there in the bathroom, freaking out, trying to figure out what to do. And then Luke finally sends me a screenshot of what Google says. I go, if I can't get this out, I'm going to the ER, LOL, it's hurting. And then he says, well, I'm gonna take you if that's the case. So Luke is a freaking sweetheart. We love him. So Luke is literally trying to do whatever he can to like help me, and he is staying awake at this point to make sure that I get this contact out of my eye, because he wasn't with me that night. He was at his own place, and I'm like, of course this would happen. So then I finally decide like I have to pound on my roommate's door, because literally no one's waking up, and if this actually causes me to lose my sight, like that's not gonna be good. So I pound on my roommate's door. She wakes up, her boyfriend's there, who luckily is the only other person I know who wears contacts. Like, you would think more people wear contacts. Apparently not. So he's like, Gabrielle, okay, calm down, breathe. Because at this point, I'm like bawling my eyes out because this contact is gone. Like, this contact is gone in a freaking black hole and disappeared, except I can still feel it. And at this point in time, it hurts so bad. My eye is red. It is all swollen. I'm just thinking the worst things. And so he's like, Gabrielle, calm down. I have solution that you can put in your eyeball. This happened to me once before, but it's gonna be okay. And he's like talking me through this. And backstory, he actually wants to be an eye doctor. So this was kind of funny that he was here to witness all this. And so he's like, Gabrielle, just calm down. If you need me to open up your eyeball and try and get it out of there, I will. And I'm like, no, you're not gonna put your finger in my freaking eyeball. So then I call my mom 7 more times, and I'm really freaking out at this point. I'm like, mom, please freak out. The one time I actually need you, and it's not fake. Like, I swear it's not a prank, mom. Okay, so she didn't answer. My dad didn't answer. My little sister didn't answer. My twin sister hung up on me. Luke is useless. My roommate's boyfriend wants to put his finger in my eye. And then I'm like, no, we're just gonna lay down for a few minutes. So I lay down right there, guys, right there. I lay down like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, Gabrielle, if this is the end, so be it. If this is the end of your right eyeball, it's gonna be okay. You'll be a strong cyclops. I put a hot rag on my eye. I'm like, you're gonna meditate right now. So I only I would do this, guys. So I put on a relaxation YouTube video, like a breathe in, breathe out, like, you know, those Zen videos. And I'm sitting there for like 30 minutes with like my eye getting worse and worse. Like, it's feeling like at this point it was like an 8 on the scale of 10. Like, you know how whenever the doctors ask you, yeah, okay, so it's all the way up there. I open up my eyeball, I go to the bathroom. I'm like, this is gonna be it. If I can't get it out now, I'm going to the ER. Like, I'm gonna drive myself there by myself. I'm not gonna wake up Luke, because I can see at this point I'm like not freaking out as much. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be that person in the ER. I'm not gonna go to sleep probably till 6 a.m., but that's okay. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't want it to get infected. So I look in the mirror, and I'm looking up here, like, is she back? Where'd she go? And she's still not there. And so I start freaking out a little bit more. And then now I'm searching at other spots in my eye. I'm like, look in this. I'm opening her up, like thinking about using the tweezers now. And I see something in the very, very corner of my eye. It's my contact. And it went from this part of my eye, this is where it got stuck, is right up here, right there where my finger is. And I see it poking out, and this is while I'm turning like this, so you can see everything on your eyeball, like if you go like that. And it starts poking out from this corner of my eye. And that's when I'm like, are you kidding me? That contact just traveled the world of my eyeball and went from there, circled it, almost circumnavigated it, and came out right there. And so I start seeing it, and I start trying to grab it, and it's not coming, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Now I can literally see it. It's playing games with me. It's playing with my emotions. This is not a boy. It's a contact. Why is it playing with me like this? This is when I literally take my eye and I shove my finger in it. Like, just shove it in there, because I know, like, there's no hope. If anything else is gonna work, like, this is gonna be it. So my finger's literally in my eyeball, and it starts really burning. I'm like, this is not right. Like, this is not good. And then I take my finger out, and somehow my finger dragged the contact out, but not much, but enough for me to just like put my finger in my eyeball again to drag it out some more. And then guys, my contact came out of my eye and everything was fine. But then that next morning, I get all these text messages from my mom, my sister, my dad, everyone saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I heard my phone buzz, but I assumed everything was fine. Then my mom tells me, oh, I thought it was a prank. Like, I thought it was a joke. I wake up to this text from my twin sister saying, hey, I'm so sorry. I thought it was a prank and I was half asleep and I didn't think it was real. When I wake up, when I sleep, I hallucinate. So that's the story of how I almost had to go to the ER because none of my family decided to answer their phone. And my contact got literally stuck in the back of my eyeball at midnight. But then she came out somehow. I don't know how. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that story because it was not fun. Like, that entire situation literally took 45 minutes to play out. And during that 45 minutes, I've never been so freaking scared in my entire life. Because how does a contact just get in the back of your eyeball? Did not know that happened. And I've had contacts since literally 5th grade. Now I'm a senior in college. Who would have thought? But I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. Hope you're having an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.